Steve Young. He was the left-handed maestro who turned patience into greatness. When he arrived in San Francisco, he stood behind the legendary Joe Montana, waiting for his shot. Many thought he'd never escape that shadow. But when opportunity came, Young didn't just replace Montana, he made history of his own. In 1992, Steve Young took command of the 49ers offense and never looked back. That season, he led the NFL in passer rating, touchdown passes, and completion percentage, earning his first AP MVP award. His ability to throw darts from the pocket or scramble for big gains made him one of the most dangerous dual-threat quarterbacks ever. Then came 1994, the season that defined his legacy. Young won his second MVP, guided San Francisco to a 13-3 record, and delivered one of the most complete postseason runs in NFL history. In Super Bowl 29, he torched the San Diego Chargers for 325 yards and a record 6 touchdown passes, earning Super Bowl MVP honors. It was the moment he finally silenced every critic, shouting with relief, "Get the monkey off my back!" By the end of the decade, Steve Young stood as a 2-time league MVP, a Super Bowl champion, and a member of the NFL 1990s All-Decade team. His career passer rating of 96.8 ranked among the best in history, and his accuracy and mobility set a new standard for generations of quarterbacks that followed. Brett Favre, a name that defined toughness, passion, and fearless football. In the 1990s, Favre wasn't just a quarterback, he was an event. Every Sunday, fans tuned in to see that rocket arm, wild improvisation, and a grin that said, "Watch this." When the Green Bay Packers traded for Favre in 1992, few knew they were getting a future legend. But within 3 years, he transformed the franchise. From 1995 to 1997, Favre rewrote the record books, becoming the only player ever to win 3 consecutive Associated Press NFL MVP awards. Each season, he led the league in passing touchdowns and brought the Packers back to prominence after decades in the shadows. Then came Super Bowl 31. Favre threw for 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, and even ran for 1, guiding Green Bay to a 35-21 victory over the New England Patriots. It was the Packers' first championship in nearly 30 years, and Favre's fist-pumping celebration became an image frozen in the game's record books. But what truly separated him was his Iron Man streak. 297 consecutive regular season starts, 321 including playoffs. Through injuries, snow, and countless hits, Favre never missed a game. His durability and grit became his trademark. By decade's end, he was named to the NFL's 1990s All-Decade team, finished with 3 MVPs, 6 Pro Bowls in the 90s, and a Super Bowl ring. John Elway. For over a decade, he was the heart of the Denver Broncos, a quarterback known for his rocket arm, fierce competitiveness, and unshakable will to win. But his road to glory wasn't smooth. Drafted first overall in 1983, Elway led Denver to 3 Super Bowls in the 1980s and lost all 3. Critics called him great, but not legendary. Yet Elway never stopped chasing that elusive ring. Every season he battled back, piling up wins, MVP votes, and unforgettable comebacks. Then came the turning point. In the 1997 season, Elway, alongside running back Terrell Davis, led the Broncos to Super Bowl 32 against the defending champion Green Bay Packers. Late in the game, Elway's iconic helicopter dive for a first down became an image of pure determination. The Broncos won 31-24, Elway's first championship. 1 year later, in Super Bowl 33, Elway threw for 336 yards and a touchdown, earning the Super Bowl MVP in his final game. He retired soon after, walking away as a 2-time Super Bowl champion, NFL MVP, 1987, and member of the 1990s All-Decade team. By the way, I'm going to be posting a lot more interesting videos on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you could show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Troy Aikman. Calm under pressure, deadly accurate, and the face of a Dallas Cowboys revival. When he arrived in 1989 as the #1 overall pick, the Cowboys were 1-15, a franchise searching for direction. But within a few short years, Troy would turn that chaos into one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history. Under head coach Jimmy Johnson, Troy became the steady leader every championship team needs. His timing, precision, and poise in the pocket guided Dallas to 3 Super Bowl victories, 27, 28, and 30, all during the 1990s. In Super Bowl 27, Troy delivered a masterclass, 273 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, earning him Super Bowl MVP honors. He wasn't known for flashy stats, but for winning when it mattered most. Across the decade, Troy's 90 victories were the most by any quarterback in the 1990s. He was named to 6 Pro Bowls, posted 32,942 career passing yards, and threw 165 touchdown passes before retiring in 2000. Surrounded by legends like Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin, Troy was the calm in the storm, directing an offense that became the NFL's gold standard. His leadership and consistency turned America's team back into champions. Dan Marino. In an era filled with legends, Marino stood as the purest passer of the 1990s, a quarterback who made throwing 300 yards look effortless. His arm wasn't just strong, it was art in motion, years ahead of its time. Playing his entire 17-year career with the Miami Dolphins, Marino entered the 1990s already an MVP and record breaker. Yet even as the league evolved, he never slowed down. From 1990 to 1999, he threw for more than 33,000 yards and over 200 touchdowns, remaining among the NFL's top passers nearly every season. His quick release was unmatched. Defenders barely blinked before the ball was gone. In 1994, after suffering a torn Achilles the previous year, Marino came back with one of the most remarkable seasons ever. 4,453 yards, 30 touchdowns, and the AP Comeback Player of the Year award. That same year, he led Miami to an AFC East title and a playoff run that reminded the world why he was special. A 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, and member of the NFL 1990s All-Decade Team, Marino turned passing records into routine highlights, long before today's pass-heavy era. But for all his greatness, one thing always escaped him: a Super Bowl ring. Still, Marino's impact goes beyond trophies. He changed how the position was played, inspiring a new generation of quarterbacks to throw without fear. He was more than a Dolphin. He was the prototype of the modern passer. Jim Kelly, fearless quarterback who carried the hopes and dreams of an entire city on his shoulders. In the early 1990s, no one symbolized Buffalo football more. Kelly led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowl appearances, 25 through 28, a streak unmatched in league annals. They didn't win a title, but they won something bigger: respect across the league. Kelly wasn't just leading a team, he was leading a revolution. His K-gun no-huddle offense changed the tempo of football forever. Instead of slowing down, the Bills sped things up, wearing defenses out and lighting up scoreboards. In 1990, Kelly led the entire NFL in passer rating, 101.2, and guided Buffalo to a 13-3 record. With Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, and James Lofton, that offense was unstoppable, ranked number 1 in points scored. Then came the heartbreaks. Wide right in Super Bowl 25, the blowouts against Washington and Dallas. But Kelly never lost his fire. He kept pushing, kept believing, kept returning. 4 straight years. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler, the heart of a team that dominated the AFC through grit and chemistry. By the time he retired in 1996, Kelly had thrown for over 35,000 yards and 237 touchdowns, and he became a Pro Football Hall of Famer in 2002. Warren Moon, a name that changed football forever. In the early 1990s, while most quarterbacks managed the game, Moon redefined it. Leading the Houston Oilers' explosive run-and-shoot offense, he didn't just throw passes, he unleashed precision lasers across the field. In 1990, Moon threw for 4,689 yards and 33 touchdowns, leading the entire NFL in passing yards. He did it again in 1991 with 4,690 yards, becoming the league's first back-to-back passing yards leader of the decade. A 9-time Pro Bowler, AP second-team All-Pro in 1990, and the NFL passing yards leader in 1990 and 1991. But his tale was never easy. After going undrafted in 1978, Moon went north to Canada, where he dominated the CFL, winning 5 straight Grey Cups with the Edmonton Eskimos before finally getting his NFL shot at age 28. When he arrived, he made up for lost time, piling up over 49,000 passing yards and 291 touchdowns in his 17-year NFL career, later adding his place among the top 10 passers in league history. In 2006, Warren Moon became the first black quarterback ever inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, a barrier shattered and a footprint that still inspires every generation that came after him. Kurt Warner, the quarterback who went from stocking grocery shelves to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. His story isn't just football, its faith, perseverance, and the power of second chances. In 1999, the St. Louis Rams lost starting quarterback Trent Green to injury. Their backup? An unknown 28-year-old who once bagged groceries at Hy-Vee in Iowa and played in the Arena Football League. That man, Kurt Warner, turned the football world upside down. Warner's first season was one of the greatest breakthroughs in league history. He threw for 4,353 yards, 41 touchdowns, and posted a 109.2 passer rating, earning both NFL MVP and Super Bowl 34 MVP honors. His Rams offense, nicknamed the greatest show on turf, with Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, and Torrey Holt, electrified fans with precision and speed. In Super Bowl 34, Warner passed for 414 yards, including the game-winning 73-yard touchdown to Isaac Bruce. The Rams triumphed 23-16 over the Titans in a finish remembered for being 1 yard short of overtime. One of the most dramatic endings in Super Bowl history. Drew Bledsoe. He was the strong-armed quarterback who gave the New England Patriots hope long before the Tom Brady dynasty began. In 1993, the Patriots drafted Drew as the #1 overall pick out of Washington State. The team had finished with a rough 2-14 record the year before, but everything started to change when the 21-year-old stepped onto the field. Just one season later, Drew became a star. He led the entire NFL in passing yards with 4,555 and earned his first Pro Bowl spot. That same year, he set an NFL record with 70 pass attempts in one game, proving how much the Patriots trusted his powerful arm. By 1996, Drew had turned New England into a serious contender. He passed for over 4,000 yards again, led the team to an 11-5 record, and took them all the way to Super Bowl 31, their first appearance in more than 10 years. Even though they lost to Brett Favre's Packers, Drew showed he could lead with courage and control. A three-time Pro Bowler in 1994, 1996, and 1997, Drew stood tall and fearless. His toughness and leadership built the base for everything that came after, the winning culture that turned the Patriots into an NFL powerhouse. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback who turned broken plays into highlight reels. Known as the ultimate weapon in Philadelphia, he redefined what a quarterback could be. A rocket arm and sprinter's speed rolled into one. But by the mid-90s, his career seemed over. After injuries and coaching changes, he retired in 1996. Many thought he'd played his last down, yet 2 years later, at age 35, Cunningham came back, and what followed in Minnesota became the stuff of NFL legend. In 1998, the Minnesota Vikings unleashed one of the most explosive offenses in football history. With Randy Moss as a rookie phenom and Chris Carter still dominant, Cunningham led an airshow that rewrote the record books. The Vikings finished 15-1, scoring a then NFL record 556 points, the most ever by a team at the time. Cunningham threw for 3,704 yards, 34 touchdowns, and posted a 106.0 passer rating, earning first-team All-Pro and NFL Comeback Player of the Year honors. Their dream season ended painfully in the NFC Championship game, a stunning overtime loss to Atlanta. Yet for fans, that 1998 run proved something powerful. Randall Cunningham's greatness wasn't just about highlight scrambles. It was about resurrection. Steve McNair, a name that defined toughness, leadership, and heart. In the late 1990s, McNair became the engine that powered the Tennessee Titans, a quarterback who refused to quit, no matter the pain or pressure. Drafted 3rd overall in 1995 by the Houston Oilers out of Alcorn State, McNair carried the weight of being the highest drafted black quarterback in NFL history at that time. Many doubted whether a small school star from the SWAC could lead in the pros, but Air McNair proved everyone wrong. By 1999, the franchise had relocated and rebranded as the Tennessee Titans, and McNair came alive. Battling through a chest injury that sidelined him early that season, he returned to lead the Titans to a 13-3 record and a magical playoff run. From the Music City Miracle against Buffalo to the dramatic finish in Super Bowl 34, McNair kept the Titans believing. In that Super Bowl, he nearly pulled off the impossible, driving Tennessee to the Rams' 1-yard line before time expired. 1 yard short of glory, but never short of courage. McNair finished his career with over 31,000 passing yards, 3,500 rushing yards, and 3 Pro Bowl selections. In 2003, he shared the NFL MVP award with Peyton Manning, confirming that his talent and toughness stood among the game's best. Mark Brunell. the left-handed quarterback who turned the Jacksonville Jaguars from expansion underdogs into one of the NFL's most exciting teams of the 1990s. When the Jaguars joined the league in 1995, no one expected a second-year team to rise so fast. But in 1996, Brunell exploded onto the scene, leading the entire NFL with 4,367 passing yards, earning his first Pro Bowl selection and guiding Jacksonville on a shocking playoff run that ended in the AFC Championship game. That season, the Jaguars stunned the heavily favored Denver Broncos in what fans still call the ambush at Mile High. It was the moment Brunell went from a backup traded from Green Bay to a true franchise leader in just 2 seasons. From 1996 to 1999, Brunell led Jacksonville to 3 playoff appearances in 4 years, including a 14-2 record in 1999. The best in the NFL, his mobility, precision, and poise made him the perfect face for a team finding its identity. A 3-time Pro Bowler and 1997 Pro Bowl MVP, Brunell finished the decade as one of the NFL's top dual-threat passers, throwing for over 32,000 career yards and helping define the Jaguars' golden era. Mark Brunell didn't just play for Jacksonville, he built its football footprint from the ground up. Vinny Testaverde, the quarterback who transformed setbacks into second chances. Drafted number 1 overall in 1987 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his career began with growing pains. Early struggles, interceptions, and constant criticism nearly defined him. But Vinny's case wasn't about failure, it was about endurance. After stops in Cleveland and Baltimore, Vinny found his renaissance with the New York Jets. In 1998, at age 35, he delivered the finest season of his long career. He threw for 3,256 yards, 29 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions, leading the Jets to a 12-4 record, their best mark in franchise history. That year, the Jets reached the AFC Championship game and came within a step of the Super Bowl. Vinny's calm leadership and powerful arm earned him a Pro Bowl selection, his first in over a decade, and proved that persistence could outlast youth. Over 21 seasons, Vinny started for 7 NFL teams, throwing for more than 46,000 yards and 275 touchdowns. When he retired, he ranked among the top 10 all-time in passing yards, a testament to longevity and determination. Chris Chandler. For years, he was the definition of a journeyman, bouncing between the Colts, Buccaneers, Cardinals, Rams, and Oilers. But in 1998, everything changed. At age 33, Chandler became the unlikely leader of one of the greatest underdog stories in NFL history, the Atlanta Falcons' miracle run to Super Bowl 33. That season, Chandler was at his absolute peak. He threw for 3,154 yards, 25 touchdowns, and posted a career-best 100.9 passer rating, earning his second straight Pro Bowl selection. Under head coach Dan Reeves, the Falcons went 14-2, the best record in franchise history. They weren't flashy, but they were efficient, disciplined, and driven. Then came the 1998 NFC Championship game, a showdown against the 15-1 Minnesota Vikings, who seemed destined for the Super Bowl. Few gave Atlanta a chance. But Chandler stayed poised under pressure, throwing 3 touchdown passes as the Falcons stunned Minnesota 30-27 in overtime, sealing the team's first-ever Super Bowl berth. In Super Bowl 33, the Falcons faced John Elway's Denver Broncos. Though Atlanta fell short, Chandler's rise from backup to Super Bowl quarterback captured what NFL dreams are made of: perseverance, timing, and redemption. Chris Chandler may never be a household name, but in 1998, he led a city to believe the impossible was real. Stan Humphries, the quarterback who stunned the football world by leading the San Diego Chargers to their first and only Super Bowl appearance. Drafted in the 6th round by the Washington Redskins, Humphries clawed his way into the league. He sat behind Mark Rypien, learning quietly on the sidelines. Then, in 1992, the Chargers, desperate for stability, traded for him. What followed changed the franchise's course forever. That season, San Diego started 0-4, dead in the water. But when Humphries took over, everything flipped. His leadership and toughness sparked an 8-game turnaround that ended with an AFC West title, their first playoff berth in a decade. By 1994, Humphries had become the steady, fearless heart of a talented squad. With running back Natrone Means bulldozing defenses and Junior So commanding the defense, Humphries threw for over 3,200 yards and led the Chargers to an 11-5 record. In the AFC Championship, he outdueled Pittsburgh in a stunning 17-13 upset, a moment still celebrated as the greatest win in Chargers history. That victory sent San Diego to Super Bowl 29 against Steve Young's 49ers. Though the Chargers fell 49-26, Humphries' journey from late-round backup to Super Bowl starter became a symbol of perseverance. Kerry Collins, the name that marked the birth of a franchise and the rise of a resilient quarterback. In 1995, Collins became the first-ever draft pick in Carolina Panthers' story. Taken 5th overall out of Penn State, a program he had just led to a perfect 12-0 season and a Rose Bowl win. Expectations were sky-high for both the young passer and the brand-new team. In only his second NFL season, Collins helped turn the Panthers from expansion underdogs into instant contenders. He threw for over 3,000 yards and 14 touchdowns, guiding Carolina to a stunning 12-4 record and an appearance in the 1996 NFC Championship game, an almost unthinkable achievement for a 2-year-old franchise. But the journey wasn't smooth. By the late 90s, Collins faced struggles with inconsistency and off-field challenges, yet he refused to let his journey end there. After brief stops in New Orleans, he found new life with the New York Giants. In 2000, Collins engineered an unforgettable postseason, throwing 381 yards and 5 touchdowns in the NFC title game against Minnesota, sending the Giants to Super Bowl 35. Jeff Hostetler, no one expected under center when the 1990 New York Giants marched into the postseason. But when starter Phil Simms went down with an injury late in the year, Jeff, the quiet backup who'd waited 6 long seasons, finally got his shot. That January night in Tampa, he faced the Buffalo Bills' high-powered offense in one of the tightest Super Bowls ever played. Jeff completed 20 of 32 passes for 222 yards and a touchdown, leading the Giants on steady, clock-killing drives. He took big hits, stayed calm, and helped New York control the ball for over 40 minutes. When Scott Norwood's last-second kick sailed wide right, Hostetler was a champion, the unheralded hero of Super Bowl 25. After that miracle run, Jeff became the Giants' starter in 1991 before taking his talents west to the Los Angeles Raiders in 1993. There, he demonstrated he was more than a one-game wonder, earning the only Pro Bowl selection of his career in 1994, 3,334 yards, 20 touchdowns. With the Raiders, he gained a reputation as one of the league's toughest and smartest quarterbacks, battling through injuries and delivering clutch performances. Mark Rypien was the strong-armed Canadian quarterback who brought championship glory to Washington at the start of the 1990s. In 1991, he led the Redskins on one of the greatest seasons in team history. With his powerful throws and cool attitude, he helped turn Washington's offense into a scoring machine that few teams could stop. That year, Mark passed for more than 3,500 yards and 28 touchdowns, earning a Pro Bowl spot and leading his team to a 14-2 record. Fans loved watching him connect on deep passes with stars like Art Monk, Gary Clark, and Ricky Sanders, a trio that made every game exciting. Then came Super Bowl 26. Facing the Buffalo Bills, Mark played the best game of his life, throwing for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. Washington won 37-24, and Mark was named Super Bowl MVP, the first quarterback of the 1990s to lift the Lombardi Trophy. Though injuries later slowed his career, Mark's magical 1991 season remains one of the brightest moments in Washington football history. For that year, he was the picture of confidence, accuracy, and leadership. A true champion who made his mark on the decade, Jim Harbaugh. Not the biggest, fastest, or flashiest quarterback of the 1990s, yet few matched his toughness or heart. Drafted by the Chicago Bears in 1987, Harbaugh spent 7 seasons learning the hard way, battling through growing pains and pressure in one of football's toughest markets. He wasn't an instant star, but he was a fighter, a leader, and a man who refused to quit. When he joined the Indianapolis Colts in 1994, the team was coming off a 4-12 season and had little hope. But in 1995, everything changed. Harbaugh took command of the offense, throwing for over 2,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions, leading the NFL with a 100.7 passer rating. His grit and late-game heroics earned him a Pro Bowl selection and the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. Supporters began calling him Captain Comeback. Then came the 1995 AFC Championship game, Colts versus Steelers. Down by 4 with seconds left, Harbaugh launched a desperate Hail Mary that nearly stunned the world. The pass bounced off Aaron Bailey's hands in the end zone, just inches from a Super Bowl berth. Harbaugh's run with the Colts became the stuff of legend. He later played for the Ravens and Chargers, and after retirement, turned his fiery leadership into a successful coaching career at Stanford, in the NFL, and with Michigan. Neil O'Donnell. A quarterback often remembered for one tough Super Bowl night, but his true story runs much deeper. Calm, efficient, and methodical, O'Donnell was the steady leader who helped bring the Pittsburgh Steelers back to championship relevance in the 1990s. Drafted in the third round of the 1990 NFL Draft out of Maryland, O'Donnell worked his way up from backup to starter by 1991. By 1992, he led Pittsburgh to an 11-5 record and earned his first Pro Bowl selection, evidence that his accuracy and poise fit perfectly in Bill Cowher's tough, defense-first system. Then came 1995, O'Donnell's finest season. He threw for nearly 3,970 yards with just 7 interceptions, ranking among the league's most efficient passers. With his leadership, the Steelers powered to an AFC championship victory over the Colts and reached their first Super Bowl since the 1970s dynasty. In Super Bowl 30 against the Dallas Cowboys, O'Donnell faced a legendary defense led by Deion Sanders and Darren Woodson. 2 costly interceptions, both caught by Larry Brown, became the lasting image of that night, overshadowing the consistency that brought Pittsburgh there in the first place. The Steelers fell 27-17, but their resurgence had already been cemented. After that run, O'Donnell signed a major free agent deal with the New York Jets in 1996, becoming one of the NFL's highest-paid quarterbacks. Injuries and team struggles limited his success, but he later found steady roles with the Bengals and Titans, even stepping in to deliver clutch wins in Tennessee before retiring in 2003. Neil O'Donnell's mark isn't about one game. It's about resilience, precision, and leadership during one of the Steelers' most important transitions. He may not have been flashy, but he was the steady hand that helped restore Pittsburgh's pride. The 1990s gave us quarterbacks who defined an era, warriors who turned every Sunday into a showcase of heart, skill, and legacy. Their stories remind us that greatness comes in many forms, from comeback kings to Super Bowl legends. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be posting many more interesting videos on the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Thank you very much.